This is the current model number I have. It's an LFC 23760ST. And I found on the internet that a lot of these guys are blowing out the fuses and causing you to have to buy a complete new motherboard for $191 just to get the fuse fixed. Well, you just use my drill screwdriver and take off this plate off the back of the refrigerator. It's got 3 screws. And the back of the refrigerator area where the circuit board is in trouble is actually this particular fuse that has burned out. I bypassed it with a, see my little wire here, so it's not a good thing to keep doing. Okay, that's another close-up. You can see it's turned black. The fuse is no longer working. I did a continuity test. Nothing will pass through it. And right above it, or right next to it, is the second fuse. And that one's okay for right now. And you'll notice that the problem with these fuses is that they are actually soldered to the circuit board. Hence, when they go bad, you have to buy the whole new circuit board for around $191 plus shipping and tax. Unplug the refrigerator. Do not do any of this with the power connected to the refrigerator. Now, the thing to do with this circuit board, once you've unpowered it, is you can unplug all these modular connectors off the motherboard. And I think these are the standoffs right here. You can pinch them down with a needle and pliers and pop the circuit board off. They're in 4 corners. Here, over here, and one over here. Might be one in the middle there somewhere for bracing. I'm not sure, but I'm about to do that in a few minutes. Okay, you can see I took the connections off. They stay together. They're tied together so that you can pretty well find where to put them back. And this set on the bottom here. Now I've already squeezed the standoffs, so the motherboard or the circuit board is ready to come off. So you be careful on where you grab it. Might be some residual leftover capacitors that have some voltage on it. Okay, so here we go. And you can see the burnt fuse. It's a 125 volt 15 amp fuse that burned out, and we're going to replace it. Here's what the cavity looks like. Pretty easy. Anyway, there's one board that I'm holding in my hand. It's worth about 200 bucks, and the fuse is not replaceable. It has to be worked on by somebody that knows how to solder. Okay, we got the motherboard down on my shop table here, and I've noticed there's two fuse ratings, 250 volts at 9 amps or 125 at 15 amps. So I went looking for the wrong fuses. So I went and bought a 15 amp 250 volt, well, which is wrong. So I'll take that back and go get the 9 amp 9 template. But guess what? I bought this fuse holder. It's kind of big, and it's going to be not sitting on the circuit board anymore. But it already comes with a 10 amp 250 volt fuse. So basically I'm going to use this as it is, even though the spec calls for a 9 amp max. I may go back to the Radio Shack if I can find one. I think I saw one that was 8 amps, and I believe someone else on the internet said that's what they use, and it worked fine. But they haven't given me any feedback on when it blows. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. And then later on, this fuse is 250 volt also, but only 2 amps, as you can see. 2 amps. So and the fuse is a little bit smaller. It's about 3/4 of an inch. This one right here is 1 1/4 inches. But it doesn't matter because once you take it off the circuit board and go to one of these things, it's going to be off the circuit board. Just the wires will touch it, and we will solder them back here, as you can probably see. I'm going to get my lighting here correct. Yep. Okay. Just these points right here, and here's the other fuse that could blow out later. Well, I take that back. I thought there was a fuse with it, but it's not. It's only rated for 250 volts, 10 amps. So we'll have to go back and change this to an 8 amp, 250 volt. But in the meanwhile, you can get, since I've got my soldering iron already hot right here, I'm just going to desolder. I'm just going to desolder these guys. Here, here, and I'm going to go back and get the other fuse here and here. I've desoldered this one end from the other side and used my needle nose to pull it off. It's very easy. Now I just gotta go and do this side.